everyone, this is Kat and welcome back to the bookish side of me. And welcome to the very first 2021 video on my channel. So this one is different because I'm going to share with you my 2021 bookish resolutions. And without further ado, let's get started. Alright, so I have here a total of 10 bookish resolutions, and I have here a green apple notebook. Napaka-aesthetic. Ano nga po, ano? But as I was saying, I have here 10 bookish resolutions and I've divided it into 3 categories. The first category is my reading plans for the year. The second is my purchasing, book buying plans for the year. Lastly is my booktube plans for 2021. So, let's go. Let's start with number 1. The first question every new year for every reader out there. How many books are you planning to read for this year? My answer is a minimum of 50 books. That's what I've put in my Goodreads challenge for 2021. I wanted to read at least 50 books for this year. I know that I can do it. I think it's very doable because I read more than 100 books last year, and I just want to put there like 50 because I don't want to pressure myself this year. Alright, number 2 with my reading resolution. As you have all noticed, for 2020, I kind of hoarded or hauled a lot of books. As you can see, I have a lot on my physical TBR. So for 2021, I am planning, my goal is to read at least 70% of my physical TBR. And at this point, I haven't counted all my physical books yet, and I know that there are still coming from like previous orders in 2020. So I will only know if I've achieved this goal by the end of the year. When I'm doing like all my wrap up, I'm gonna do it. I will get to see if I've actually read 70% of my physical TBR. Number 3 on my reading resolution. This one is one thing that I want to be more proactive of. This is one thing that I've learned in 2020, how westernized or how white my reading taste is before 2020, and then the year came and I realized that I'm missing so much more from different authors of color, Black and Indigenous, Asian authors, and this year I just want to read more diversity. Again, just like the previous resolution, I can't really measure this one at this point. I can't give you a number or a target percentage. I will only know if I've achieved this goal by the end of the year, and I'm going to compare it to the books that I've read in 2020. In connection with number 3 resolution as well, number 4 on my list is to be more intentional with the books that I want to read, with the books that I'm buying, with the books that I'm adding on my TBR. I want to pursue books, genres, tropes, stories that I am comfortable with. To be honest, in 2020, I kind of felt the pressure to read more books even though it doesn't interest me because of the hype, because a lot of people have read it or a lot of people have it. I just kind of went crazy about it. So maybe that's why I've hoarded a lot of books last year, but by the end of 2020, I kind of unhauled a lot as well because I just lost my interest. I realized that I really don't want to read this book. It's just because of the hype. So in 2021, I wanted to like refocus myself, reevaluate what I really like in books, what are the genres that I really would like to read more of, and just focus on them. I don't want to be pressured again with the book community. I don't want to be pressured with my peers or with my friends. It's okay if you don't read the book that everyone has read. Like, that's totally fine. Alright, so number 5 on this list, this is something also that I've been contemplating about for the whole 2020. I thought of making this experiment this 2021, and maybe I will like it and maybe I will stick to it. And that is to not rate all the books that I will read for this year. So since I started reading fiction like back in high school, I've been really rating all the books that I've read based on the 5-star rating system that we have or we commonly use. But this year, I want to practice to not rate books in anywhere, like in Goodreads, Instagram, and my booktube. I just want to read books and give a review about it. I just don't want to be pressured with rating books based on like a scale And the reason for this is because in 2020, I've realized that rating books actually make me anxious. Like, I kept on thinking, what will I rate this book? Is this book worth a 5-star or is it worth a 3-star? What others will think about me if I rated this book lower or higher than the usual or the common or the average rating in the community. And also because I think that I don't have a rubrics, I don't have something objectively to see. I just feel like if it's not for a technical aspect or if I'm not a professional reviewer, I just chose not to rate books anymore. So again, this is going to be an experiment. However, I've decided to categorize all the books that I've read based on 3 categories. The first one are books that I really love, like potentially can be a favorite of the year. And then books that I liked, like these are books that I think is good, books that I've enjoyed. These are books that I think it's great, it's good, but perhaps it's not perfect for me. Like I have issues with it. And then the last one is like the books that I dislike, books that I hated, or books that didn't work for me. Probably it worked for others, but for me it didn't. Alright, in connection to number 5, in my number 6, okay, where is 6? In my number 6 reading resolutions, I'm also going to try. I'm just going to try. I'm not sure yet, but I'm putting it out here. I'm claiming it already. I'm going to try to write a review for every book that I would read for this year. Like, I'm not going to rate them anymore, but I'm going to write my reviews on Goodreads and on Instagram and share it with you here on BookTube, all the books that I'm going to read for this year. I am determined. I want to be more consistent in writing my reviews. I want to be more coherent. I want to recommend you books that are great and maybe give you some thoughts about books that I don't think are very great. I just want this year to be more substantial. Those are my 6 reading resolutions for 2021. And right now, we're moving on to the second category, which is my book buying or purchasing plan for this year. So, as I've said earlier, I think it's no news to everyone that I have hoarded so much in 2020, and I kind of regretted a little bit of it this year because I want to be more intentional with the books that I'm going to read or consume for the whole year. I'm also going to limit my spending habits or my book purchases for the whole year. I have committed myself to only buy 2 books a month. Like, that's the maximum. That's it. Like 2 books a month. Either I bought it in local bookstores or abroad, it should just be 2 books. Anyway, so that's the first one. And then the second book buying plan that I have is, instead of like buying books immediately that interest me, I thought of just maximizing my audiobook subscription. So recently I resubscribed to Scribd because I'm looking for a specific book. So because of that, I thought, why not, before you buy a book, you try to listen to it first in audiobook and see if you will like it. And afterwards, if I still want to buy it, then I will go for it. So in that way, I will kind of limit my book purchases and not go crazy every time I'm interested in a book. Now we're moving on to the third category. In the third category, it's all about my BookTube channel. And I also have here 2 bookish resolutions. These are my plans for now, just like general plans for the whole year. The first one is I want to be more consistent in uploading on my BookTube. Like, I've tried to put a schedule on my BookTube last year, but it didn't work out. So in this year, instead of like telling you what day I'm going to upload, I'm just going to be more consistent in uploading. My goal is to upload at least once a week for the whole year, and it could be any video. I hope that I could give you some variety about it, but that's the goal. It could be during a weekday, it could be during the weekend. So yeah, I hope I can do that for this year. Alright, so we are on to the last one, and again, this is about my BookTube channel. For this year, one of my top priority bookish resolution is to create content for you guys that are more substantial and has more quality. Like, I've come to realize in 2020 that I kind of like just follow the trends on booktube, which is fine, which is okay for me, but I feel like I could, do something more. In short, in Tagalog, I don't want to create a mema video, like mema post lang, or mema upload lang, or mema video lang, or mema content lang. I don't want to give you something that I don't think that is beneficial for you as a viewer. Like, I want you to spend your time worthy by just creating quality content for you. But it doesn't necessarily mean that I'm not going to post any more fun videos or entertaining ones. It's just that for me, I want a balance of both. So yeah, those are the 10 bookish resolutions that I have. And I just want to say that at the bottom of this list, the main goal is to care for myself more, to pursue books or things that I'm really interested in, to prioritize mental health and not be pressured or be anxious with what's happening in the book community. So yeah, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching it. If you've reached this part, comment down below one bookish resolution that you have for 2021. Just one. Let's talk there, let's chat. And for now, I hope that you are safe, you are healthy wherever you are. And if you are from the Philippines, remember to get yourself registered for the coming election in 2022. And just remember that the world is yours for the reading. Bye, and see you on the next one.